दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
Lucknow Junction.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರಿಗೆ
Hyderabad Express University Station, Netaji Bhavan.
Hello. Afternoon siestas are a big thing across states in India, but I suppose some teams are having sleepless nights. The others are having a bit of a chill time. Two teams with contrasting fortunes so far in action in the first of two games tonight here at the IPL. RR versus KKR, a team with 3 titles versus a team that's at number 3 on the points table. Hi, you're watching Google Pixel presents Cricbuzz live in association with Google Search AI Mode. My name is Manish Batavia, and two very gentle, soft-spoken, wise men in the studio to give us their gyan, their insights, the voices of reason in the studio. I have to go to the Kolkata man first. As I said, it's a very uneasy time for KKR supporters. There is this concept of sleeping in the afternoon, especially on Sundays. I'm not too sure if that's happening, given how uneasy fans are feeling these days.
Yeah, the concept is called ghum bhat, which means basically you eat a lot of rice and a lot of mutton curry and then you just go to sleep after that and just have a nice proper siesta.
Oh.
This Sunday afternoon siesta is a very important thing. I mean, marriages have been broken because men have been woken up or women have been woken up during the siesta. Yeah. But they'll definitely be waking up today because this is a very, very vital match. I mean, if KKR loses this, they're out completely. Even now, they're just hanging by a thread. But they're still, I mean, there is a theoretical chance still. You can see out there, they've basically 6 matches gone. If they win their next 8, they can still qualify. If they lose one more, it's so practically close to impossible.
Yeah, pehle fiesta, phir siesta. But I suppose that sort of plan has been disturbed by what the team has done so far. Winless after 6 games. KKR is a franchise that takes a lot of pride. But as Joy said, is this their best bet? Because their opponents, form team, coming off a loss. KKR, nothing to lose, might as well go out and give us a special game.
Yeah, I think more than looking at who they're playing against, they need to figure out exactly how to inspire the whole squad, how to deal and absorb pressure at this stage, because when you've not won a single game, it's pretty much, we are coming to halfway mark in the season now, in just a week or so. So it's going to be tough, there is no doubt about that. There will be dejected faces, there will be lethargy, you name it. All those kind of aspects are going to be there for the think tank to deal with. And I think to get out of this, there is no other way than to play for your pride, to go out there, not really look too far ahead, just focus on what's in your hand, which is controlling how you look at the situation, how you prepare yourself. Not to go in the past too much.
Yeah.
Just see what you can do. Put up a fight. I think that is something which the fans will be happy to see. That desperation of trying to turn things around.
Yeah.
That is something which is important. If it's there, the result, even if it's not going your way, there'll at least be points for trying.
Sure.
And I think which starts with not getting too experimental as well. These kind of situation, what happens, you think that, move this guy, play this guy. Whatever thought process you had in the beginning of the season, if it was, say, one of the openers, Finn Allen or Seifert, so you've made that change. Finn Allen started the season, now Seifert replaces. You thought about maybe Naren batting load on the order, now you changed that. Ajinkya Rahane to open. Yeah. Now he's shifted to 3. So they're doing the best they can in terms of putting the pieces together. Yet result is missing.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that? You just have to go believe and trust the process.
Yeah.
And cut the outside noise and just go out there and win. I think once you win, a lot of things will take care of itself.
You've seen both sides of the coin, Joy. You've been a part of a victorious KKR side. You were a part of the KKR squad in IPL 2, South Africa, where everything went wrong. The air can be a bit heavy, right?
The air can be a bit heavy. But, fortunately, I've also seen a KKR side, which in 2014, that's the year they won. I was last there that we won a championship. KKR was 2-5 at one point. KKR was 2-5. They'd gone 2 and 3 coming back from if you remember, the first part of the tournament was UAE. Then we went and got hammered by CSK in Ranchi, the game was held. And then lost a game to Ahmedabad. So 2 and 5. KKR was almost last in the table at that point. And what happened with the staff, and that's perhaps something KKR can look at now, in saying that, okay, there's a lot of good things happening, okay? Focus game by game. There's no tournament. We do not see any tournament. It's a next game and the next game. And that's how they won 9 in a row. Because that's what you can do. You can play freely and you can say one game at a time. But he said something very important. You can't make necessarily wholesale changes also because there's a reason for it. You've created a certain structure. Now that structure has not come overnight. That structure has come, you've taken an auction, you've bought players, you've thought about it for 3 months. There must be 3 months of thought you put in and said, this is how I'm going to play.
Yeah.
You cannot discard it on the basis of 1 or 2 results or even 3-4 results. The last point I have to make is I feel there's some green shoots out here. I feel finally Sunil Narayan was bowling well. I think Varun's last match he bowled well.
Yeah.
They really pushed that total to the right it went to the last over.
Yeah.
Karthik Tyagi is bowling well. So you have a situation where 2-3 bowlers are well. Vaibhav Arora has done well for you up front. Some things are happening. If they keep their form and they have much less to lose than RR, then perhaps they can, do something today.
No such problems for the Rajasthan Royals. It's all settled really well, barring that loss in that last game. They lost to SRH by 57 runs, Zach, but all is well. That can be looked at as one of those aberrations. And do teams at times need a little nudge like this, like a wake-up call early in the tournament? It tends to keep you alert, right? While everyone wants to win.
You've seen in this tournament, and in this format, for that matter, to win consistently is not that easy. To lose consistently is also not that easy.
Yeah.
So for RR, what was the question? The question was, how long can they sustain it? You've just had a completely off game with the bat. You lost 3 wickets in the first over, and after that the game was done. Not often that's going to happen with this batting lineup. That rest be assured.
Sure.
So what do RR do? It's just about making sure that you go back to your processes. Just the talk in the dressing room will be like, every team is going to have a tough game out of 14. So your tough game is out of the way. You just now go out there, reset, and express yourself again. Because when you're looking at RR, a lot is going for them. The balance is looking good. And I think to me, the biggest balance maker, I would say, is Bishnoi's form. It's something which was very important for RR because that after Ashwin and UZ Chahal, it was a big hole to fill. So Bishnoi has showed that, okay, now you need not worry about that. He's there. He is in wicket-taking form. He is in the purple cap race, which is the brightest spot. Your fast bowling is looking good. Jofra has hit his rhythm. He's consistently bowling at rapid pace, which is going to hurry most of the batters. Nandre Berger, good support cast. Sandeep Sharma, experienced campaigner, absorbs pressure, can really put things together as and when required. So bowling department is more than capable enough for the drivers of the franchise, which are the batters, Vaibhav Suryavanshi and Yashasvi, along with Jurel and Rian, and you have Hetymer to finish.
Sure.
Even though he didn't play the last game, he's not going to be. He's a permanent fixture in that playing 11.
Sure.
So you have the right components.
Yeah.
You've started the season well. One tough game, they will brush it aside and they'll come back with the same vigor what we've seen how they started the season with.
Perhaps the only box that's left to be ticked is the form of their young captain. So let's look at his captaincy and then his batting. It's a bit of a contrast, but it shouldn't worry them too much, should it?
Yeah, look, I think his captaincy has been fine. There's a couple of decisions and he himself has said that, I'm learning. There's a couple of things I could have done this a little different. But by and large, most importantly, does he have the voice of his team? Does he have the confidence of his team? And that he definitely has the confidence of his team. And that's the single most important thing. They know, they really believe that, he's their captain, he's their leader.
Yeah.
With the bat, I think exactly, he's had opportunities. He's had situations where he can bat. He has had situations where, it's not that he hasn't had time in the opportunity to have time in the middle. Sometimes it happens that you're not getting a chance because the others are doing so much. He has had time in the middle. He's not totally capitalized on them.
Yeah.
But I think he'll realize that himself. And it's a long tournament.
Yeah.
It's something that he'll think about. I don't think it's panic stations.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's panic station. Also, the team is doing well. So all these things become easier for you to face if the team is doing well, because when a team is good enough, they can carry a couple of players for a while because they know these are important parts of their machine.
Good early signs, Zach, as young captain, one full season as captain this year.
Look, in a season like this, it's important, especially if you're a new captain, that you start with some winning momentum, which RR have got. There's enough things going for the team right now, which takes care of the pressures of captaincy for a new captain, and he's been very open about expressing the whole thought process, which is again a good sign that you are relaxed, you are accepting that you will be committing some errors, you are showing good signs of letting everyone know that I'm willing to learn. I can try a few things, but I will go consult with the guys outside, and then maybe when put in the situation again, I will look at that situation in a different way, or maybe try different to what he has done before, or continue with the same thing what he has done earlier, which had produced results. So those are the signs of a good captain. It's a settled team. It's an experienced team. It's got enough good advisors around the franchise, which is going to make job easy for him for sure. If his batters are in form, if his bowlers are in form, you will see him grow in confidence as the season progresses.
A slice of luck for RR. They have won the toss and they've chosen to bat first. Joy, you know these conditions well. Batting first, it's really hot. Good call, that.
Absolutely. That means two things. There's no rain in the horizon at all.
Yep.
And it's really, really hot. And what Calcutta problem is not about the heat, it's the humidity.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't rain for a few days, the humidity really gets to you. So I think they've done the smart call. And let me tell you one thing. Every player in Riyan Parag's team will be cheering that call because nobody wants to
field.
Yeah, 3:30 in the heat in Calcutta in the afternoon it's a cauldron out there. So definitely they'll be happy. And they'll say, okay, let us bat. Their batting has been so strong. Put Calcutta under pressure. I think it works for both teams. It works for them also because their batting is really got going and they have decent bowling to follow.
Yeah.
And it works for Kolkata because I think Kolkata's best chance is to take wickets up front and somehow try and stem the tide.
RR clearly looking to press that reset button after their last loss and just looking to bat KKR out of the game.
See, also this one team looking like, they are not just sticking to captain winning the toss and deciding to bowl first.
Sure. Yeah.
I think they are trying to make the play with the bat, understanding that their strength lies in their openers having a very carefree approach. So when there is no target in your sight, you are actually not restricting yourself. You are just going with the flow. They did that, I think, in the one of the earlier
Bombay
games.
also 11. No, they got caught because Bombay was. I put them in, but in 11 overs they batted them out of the game.
So I think this team is trying to approach it with a similar kind of thought process as SRH.
Yep.
They also someone who wants to bat first, because you look at their openers, like, they want Vaibhav Suryavanshi to go out there and dictate and put bowlers under pressure before they realize what are the ideal lengths to bowl on a particular pitch. When you're bowling second, you kind of seen, how the pitch is behaving, what kind of right options, you have enough time to assess and then plan. Here, they're maybe trying to stay one step ahead and backing their batting unit to make the play get to a total and then believing in their bowling lineup to defend the totals.
Lots of chatter online about what KKR must do, and fans will always have opinions. One of the thoughts is to throw spin up top against Jaiswal and Suryavanshi. Does that idea excite you?
It's tempting because you've seen that the fast bowlers have not been able to make inroads apart from that one game which Praful got wickets up front. But other than that, I think, both these batters are more than capable of putting spinners under pressure. And I think someone had tried against Jaiswal when he had hit it. I think it was KKR game only.
I think it was.
So KKR trying off spinner as a tactical call. And Jaiswal, the kind of form he was in that season, putting 24 runs on the board in the first over itself.
Yeah, that was, I think, Nitish Rana, who was tried because Jaiswal was a left-hander, and he took him for 24 runs, and the game literally was over by then. The game was over by then. So, I was just looking at, in fact, very interesting. My producer had sent the app the values of how Suryavanshi does against spin, and he bats at about 200. So it's not as if and 63 balls is not a small number.
Yeah.
So I think he puts spinners under pressure as well. He can get out, but he puts spinners under pressure. So the interesting thing is, KKR could very much have a 20-22 run over. Are they prepared to risk it? Go in there, toss the ball to him and say, okay, maybe take a chance. You might go for 20 runs, but what do you have to lose? So it'll be very interesting to see how much the captain, Rahane, is prepared to gamble on this.
Just wonder, the conditions in the IPL, very different in May as compared to April. Is that going to change how teams like KKR look at their already depleted resources? Do you see spin having more of an impact going forward in Kolkata and other venues?
It will be, I think, just across the tournament, you'll see that adaptation from various teams also. And it's started to see. It started to show actually, in the last yesterday's games for that matter, it had a huge impact in terms of how it started with the new ball when the ball is new and hard. First 10 overs, the kind of tempo which was set, teams were finding it tough to keep up with that tempo as the game was unfolding, which was just the beginning indicator, I would say, that as the pitches are going to slow down. And if you see most of the teams right now, they're going in with having 4 seam bowling options, right?
Yeah.
I mean, GT is a classic example. They have someone like Sai Kishore sitting on the bench, but they're still preferring 4 fast bowlers. At some stage, as the pitches change, they will make that change. There are some teams which are going in with having 2 spin bowling options available, or maybe having options of creating 10 overs of spin if need be.
Yeah.
But they're still sticking with the seam up options right
Yeah.
and I think that shift you can expect starting from yesterday.
Yeah.
And as maybe, in another week or 10 days, it will be more evident.
There are games when even Jadeja has not bowled his full quota. So as Zach said, I suppose that will change it. It's so difficult to be at the auction table and look at different challenges and needs. Start of the tournament, now almost mid-March. May, it's a different world. It's not easy being on that auction table, John.
Not at all. And see, I think that's what would have happened. Say, Nehra would have been told Sai Kishore ki, don't worry, you're going to start coming into form in late April, early May when the pitches are tired.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And if you saw the way even Bengaluru batted yesterday, the whole thought was that get runs because the pitches started to slow down.
Yeah.
And if you notice that because Delhi bowled with discipline, after the 13th, 14th over, it was very difficult to hit them. And that's exactly what is going to happen. So a lot of teams, which means that upfront, you're going to have to take more risks because you have to go and get 10.
Delhi also started with Vipraj Nigam being part of the playing 11. Now he's been used as impact.
Yes.
So there are those signs where teams started the season with a particular planning. They said, no, right now the pitches are still not conducive to spin, or spin has not taken that kind of effect. They are opting for the other options.
Yeah.
But I think very soon you'll see that shift in many teams, and teams which have spin as their strength will maybe make a comeback, and KKR actually is one of them. If Varun and Sunil Narayan, if they come good and they show some spark right now, starting today, they can still make the impact and not be in the position what they've started the season with.
Yeah, we will in fact talk about them threadbare in just a bit. The 11s are ready. A couple of changes for RR. Again, unexpected lines. Joy, in comes Hetymer, who was rested in that last game, comes in for Luandre Pretorius, and out goes Tushar Deshpande, in comes Brijesh Sharma. This is the Rajasthan batting first 11. This is their trusted combination. Why change it?
No, absolutely. I mean, this looks a really good team. Brijesh for, Tushar, Brijesh, depending on conditions, they'll play one or the other.
Yep.
I mean, Brijesh has also played quite a few matches. So it's one of those things they've looked at. Hetymer coming back it was a certainty. What I find interesting is that if you look at that lineup again, the one thing I wanted to say is that if you have a situation where, can we have that, like, if you look at it there, Hetymer and Donovan Ferreira, they're playing both, okay? Now, what they could have done is, if they wanted to give a chance to Pretorius, they could have, Donovan Ferreira can also go because Hetymer is really their form player. But somehow they really believe that Donovan Ferreira is the finisher they believe in.
Could they have looked at bringing in Adasun Shanaka? While things are going largely well for them, maybe try Shanaka? He's the bowling all-rounder for Ferreira?
Look, these kind of calls are purely dependent on how the think tank is thinking.
Sure.
How you plan the season. Donovan Ferreira is someone who they really believe in. He did show good signs of how he can take the game or how he can just sustain the pressure in the previous one when they lost early wickets. He was the one who was looking to control that run chase in spite of the top order collapse. So they will give him enough chances before they change in different direction. So I think it's just a good stable thought process, I would say, right now from RR, that the process which they believe in, they're just backing the individuals who they really feel. Riyan Parag is a classic example, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've persisted with him, giving chances until he came good and had the season, the breakthrough season for him when he had that kind of impact.
What about the Impact 5? Let's take a look at the options that RR will have when they defend the runs they put on the board. This is their Impact 5. Sandeep Sharma clearly
Sandeep Sharma is the bowler. He's the bowler of choice. So this is their batting 11. So Sandeep Sharma just walks in.
KKR, have they made any changes? These are desperate times for the Knight Riders fans and the team. And they have gone in unchanged. This is their bowling first 11. I suppose you'd go with... These are the best 11 possible, right? Or could they have done something?
I like the thought process. I thought the last game they reached pretty close. Their bowling was actually pretty decent. If their batting had got a few more runs, this could have been they took the game to the last over. The bowlers were looking really good.
Yeah.
I think this is their best chance. They've looked at it. Look, they've given Finale a chance of 4-5 matches. Okay. Now, if they were to take anyone else, who can you take? You can take a Rachin Ravindra. If you're taking a Rachin Ravindra, whose place is he going to take? If he's going to take the place of, say, Robman Powell, okay, you're giving a spin all-rounder to a fast bowling all-rounder. You already have Anukul Roy, who's your spinning all-rounder for you, who's played, and you've had a lot of faith in him.
Yeah.
My problem in the last match was not so much about the team as to about how the 11 actually came out in the field during the batting, which is a different matter altogether. But I think this shows a thought process that KKR at least, and I think it's a good thing, is not yet panicking. They're saying, these are the best guys we have. Let's try them. We were close last match. Let's see if we can get across the line this time.
It's interesting Joy says this because I thought he's triggered a certain debate that I think we must get into now. Here's Settle the Debate, brought to you by Google Pixel. I'm going to get our experts to look at the foreign player options that KKR have. Here are the names for you. If you guys were in charge, Joy's already weighed in on this. Your options are Alan Seifert, Rachin, Powell, Green, Muzarabani, Pathirana, who's already joined the team but's not playing today, and Sunil Narine. Who are your ideal 4 foreign players?
Look, looking at the current scenario and looking at the availability of players, like Pathirana is not available. They lost some players to injuries. So it's a scenario right now, the best 4 which are available, which was always going to be the case that Seifert / Finale. So they've stuck with the template which they formed, and that's the ideal template for KKR because in this, terms and conditions apply. Like Cameron Green needs to contribute with the ball as well, and if he's doing that, then the thought process of Russell moving on with the game and you replacing him with a top order power batter who can bowl a few overs for you. That's the kind of thought process we've seen. Narine is someone who picks himself. He's been the legend with the KKR franchise, have done immense contribution to the franchise. And you have Powell, which is bringing power. So the balance is there. The thought process is correct. There is nothing wrong with the thought process. Yeah, when Narine moves on from this franchise and stuff like that, then you can look at Seifert and Finn Allen. Everyone is talking about it only because of the partnership which they've had on the same ground, which suddenly, just the recency bias of saying, when you have them together, why not start with that? But here you have to give credit to the KKR think tank as well.
Yeah.
Because you had not planned the team like that. You picked them, that's bonus for you. But your plan was always to have a bowling all-rounder or a batting all-rounder. In this case is Cam Green. Narine is a bowling all-rounder. So those two all-rounders are actually adding more firepower to your complete 11, changing the balance of that, because you in potential have two proper batters who can bowl if need be. Like between Narine and Cam Green, even now you can get 6 to 7 overs on a regular basis, which changes that balance. For power, you have Seifert and Finn Allen. One of them you can choose. They started with Finn Allen, hoping that it's going to come good. But when it didn't come good, you've gone to Seifert. So I think these 4 players which they've picked right now is the right combination. The only thing, when Pathirana is fit and available, then you have to sacrifice one.
He's here.
Yeah, but he's not.
But he's not available as
today.
yet. So and that only the KKR inner circle will be able to tell us or decide. So that one change they'll have to do when Pathirana is fit.
Yeah.
But till then, what they're choosing as 4 overseas is the right selection.
Cam Green couldn't bowl in the last game because of the cramps, according to the captain. If he's not giving you contributions with bat and ball, do they make that tough call, or is it the price tag pressure on the think tank as well?
I think he's got runs in the last match. He got runs in the last match. In fact, one of the things that they'll be talking about is, I thought they were tactically naive.
Okay.
To a player gets to 75 and then plays one ball in the next 20 balls. That's ridiculous. In that period, they should have got him on strike. He's the batter on strike. And I thought all the batters who walked in didn't have that sense. Somebody should have told them, just take a single, get him on strike. He's in form. So I think tactically they made a few mistakes out there, and it happens. It happens in games like that. So, but Cam Green is in form. My sense is that if they probably don't bowl him every match. They probably have a thing of, once every 2 matches or 3 matches. But if Cam Green is bowling, Cam Green is definitely there. My only difference is, I completely agree with him that you've made a dhacha, structure, that this is what I'm going to take. 1 opening batter, 2 all-rounders, 1 batting all-rounder, 1 bowling all-rounder, and perhaps 1 bowler. Okay. When Pathirana comes in, he becomes a bowler. Right now, they're playing with Robman Powell. If they think that they need a full bowler, probably Robman Powell will be the one they're going to sacrifice first. That's how they're going to look at it. But the thing about it is that I would have actually preferred to keep going with Finn Allen, because I was just looking at what Finn Allen was doing. And my only point was that Finn Allen didn't get runs. But what happens is that when you bat in T20 matches, in 2014-15, when you bat in T20 matches, in fact, even the best of this template was, say, somebody like a David Warner. You could risk-free start off with 8, 9, 10 runs and over. Risk-free. You don't need to really do it. But now the template has changed, because no longer 8, 10 runs or 48, 50 is no longer a good score. Now you're looking at 65 to 70 to 75. Finn Allen was trying to bat at that kind of rate. He was trying to take those chances. You will take chances, you will get out. If Suryavanshi gets out today, nobody's going to say anything because he's got a couple of knocks. The point was, Finn did not get runs. But I still feel he played with intent. And I think if KKR does not play with intent up front, they're not going to get the kind of scores that to settle themselves.
There are KKR fans who still look back at the glory days when they won the IPL and say, why not have Narine up top? Almost 1,500 runs as opener. Does that idea excite you, Narine up top?
That's what they've done now. So Narine is at the top. And that's something, which they have to do. If Narine is playing now after this kind of season which he's had with Phil Salt, I think the biggest mistake for KKR that they've let go of Phil Salt. If you have to go and really dig in deep, they had the opportunity, they made poor choices. So that is as simple as that. After that, now you're in this situation. Now in this situation, what best you can do is, say, Narine and Seifert. If it's not working, you can actually go Seifert and Finn Allen. Opening the batting, which means Narine has to be put down. Now, for that to happen, your Ramandeep and Rinku Singh needs to come really good with the finishing of it. So if you are able to finish the games well, which initially didn't happen. So it didn't allow you to take that kind of a call. So right now, you're still sticking to the thought process which you started with. But right now, because you've not won a single game, that allows you to pivot. And when you have to pivot in the season, you have to pivot on the basis of what's happening in the season. And you never really accounted for the injury, right? Harshit Rana is not going to be replaced by anyone because he contributes with the ball and the bat. So that balance you will not be able to fulfill. That means you can change the whole template of what you've started the season with. And that freedom they have, which if they really have to make the drastic changes, I think KKR is in that position. But that position is basically to say is the pivot for the season. Then whatever template, the new template which you decide, it can't be for 2 games. It has to be for the season for you to give yourself the best chance of making the impact.
Right, that is my problem because actually Narayan opened, but he opened 1 game before. So you gave him 1 game opening, then the next match again you dropped him back down the order. And my point is that if you have taken a decision you have pivoted, say, and taken a decision to open then Narayan, then stick to that for at least 3-4 matches. I mean, you must. So that is my one problem. That one may agree with the decision to open with Narayan or not. But the point is, once you've taken the decision, you must give it a 3-4 game run to see whether it works or not. To change it immediately in the next match, I didn't think was a great idea.
Cue to our producer, just cull this clip and send it across to the KKR think tank. They've discussed KKR's foreign players conundrum threadbare. This was Settle the Debate, brought to you by Google Pixel. Quick update from the Eden Gardens. In case you've just joined us, RR have won the toss and they've chosen to bat first. The 2 lefties up top really have been thrashing pretty much every bowler. But thereafter, in comes Jurel at number 3, who's starting to have the kind of season that he would have dreamt of. At number 3, he's been licensed to thrill. And how good has he been at number 3? Take a look at that. In T20 cricket, he's found this sweet spot, you reckon, Zach? Is number 3 the most attractive real estate for batters who are not allowed to open?
There is no doubt about it. I think if you ask any batter who is capable of batting in the top order, he'll say that 1, 2, 3. Once you get that, you are able to produce the numbers consistently, because these are the positions where you have chance of facing maximum number of deliveries. If you are batting at 6, 7, you are judged by the impact. You know how quickly you are adapting to the situation. The finisher's role is always, sometimes if your top orders are doing the job, you might get 3 balls, 7 balls to make the impact. And how consistently you're going to make it. That too, you're not sure if you have 14 games, how many games actually you're going to get the opportunity of making that kind of impact. So that is a specialist position, but this is the position of luxury. If you have the game to be able to deliver here, then you can put up the numbers which is going to give you that cushion also, and simplicity of approach. It's less dynamic, I would say. You have to keep with the strike rate and evolve as the game is evolving, because we've seen that number used to be at 120 for the top 3 to have a good strike rate, and then a decent average of say 30-40 runs, 30-35 I would say, not even 40. That dynamics is changed to now having strike rate of say 150-160. And the average has taken a little hit. But you don't mind that. So if you are able to produce numbers at say 30-35 average and having a 150-60 strike rate, you are doing a good job for yourself and for the team as well.
It's the second leg of a 100-by-4 meter relay, isn't it? I mean, you can get a great start, but that second 100 meter is so crucial. He's doing it really well.
Absolutely. You look at the history of this tournament, okay? How many top orange caps have come from below number 3? That means 4 onwards. You wouldn't think, you wouldn't find one. That's the problem. You don't get enough balls. So the luxury of playing at number 3 is a huge, huge luxury. There is a huge difference, not between 1, 2 and 3, there's not that much of a difference in total balls played. But between 3 and 4, there's a wide gulf in the average number of balls played. So this is a huge, it's a really important thing. And again, I keep saying this, that 1, 2 and 3 are what we call proactive positions. You set the game. You set the template for the game. Because what you will score will come. If you end up at 25 for 2, okay, then the game has changed. Now, number 2 down has to react to that situation. If it's 150 for 2, he has to react to the situation. But when when just one wicket is down, you still play the same game as you played as your opening.
And I suppose he's on the right track for his India aspirations as well, because India now prefer a keeper batter in the top order.
No, in this format, with the Indian team also, it depends on what kind of template you want to set,
Sure.
Along with the decision makers there in the team, and that's the luxury which India have right now. They have plenty of options. You can set any kind of template, and you'll find players to fill those spots, and that is thanks to a tournament like IPL, which is creating such high competitive cricket, which is making players ready for the international level.
Yep, it is throwing up many more options for Rajit Agarkar and Gautam Gambhir and the think tank. Three of them are being mentioned by, I assume, a KKR fan. Obin Chakraborty has a question for us. He mentions a few other players. Take a look at that. Vaibhav, Yashasvi, Priyansh. Who from that trio do you see break into India's current top three? He sent in this question with hashtag #AskCricbuzz. Why don't we add Prabh Simran as well to that?
Yeah,
He's done too well.
Wicket-keeper bats, absolutely.
What do you think?
I mean, look, I think Vaibhav, two of them, Vaibhav and Yashasvi, almost certainly, I think we have a tour. What, Zimbabwe is coming up?
Yep.
I think
Ireland.
They will rest top players. I see both Vaibhav and Yashasvi there, to be honest with you. I don't see one, I see both of them being there. No, because they're definitely not going to wait on Vaibhav, because I think they might play Vaibhav and say, perhaps in this time, is he a 50-over prospect as well? Who knows? Because he's such a talented player. You want to give him as many opportunities as possible. I don't think the think tank will wait. I think they'll blood him in a series like Ireland and make sure that he's out there playing for India.
Do you play him straight away, or do you put him in the squad for him to be around the seniors in the Indian team?
Look, what we've seen with the thought process of the Indian selectors, not just recent, but over the years now, that this format is looked at in that fashion. If there is any tour which is coming, you've been giving chances to the players who you want to give exposure to at the international level. I think BCCI also can be proactive in terms of figuring things out as they've figured it out with the shadow tours. The shadow tours is a very important aspect of the rise of Indian cricket with regard to the A teams going to different countries, usually where the team is going, the main team is going and playing a series there. You will have a tour which is going and playing matches there in that country. Similarly, I think the time has come where you actually address the gap. So what happens right now, IPL to IPL, there is a huge gap in between. So you see suddenly, when IPL is there, you'll see all this talent which is just there. Post IPL, unless you're playing for the Indian team in any of the formats, you're not going to get this kind of exposure. Now, how do you address that is by keeping these shadow tours, which was a tradition which started a while back, which has had a very positive impact. Similarly, with all these young talents, you need to start some kind of a tournament or some kind of series, which is going to keep that continuity of monitoring these young talents which are not getting that many opportunities. Very few. Yes, Suryavanshi is ready. Like the question you asked whether he should be there, I think he will be there. Because that's the kind of the series you are playing, and that's the kind of impact the kid has had. But the other kids also which are there, for some reason, like when you're choosing between Yashasvi and Suryavanshi or Priyansh, they're all more than capable to be taking that spot, right? Yeah. But you can give the spot maybe to only one guy right now.
Sure.
So what do you do for the others? I think, and these are just the two names which you're mentioning here now.
Yeah.
But there are enough players who needs that continuity, and I think that direction should be think about by BCCI for sure.
Yes, Abhishek, Ishan, Samson, the next T20 World Cup is about 2.5 years away. Clearly, between the last two World Cups, India tried a lot of players because GG wanted options. And I suppose it's only a great problem to have with so many options available.
You're going to see that. You're going to see that this year as well. As he said, rightly, see, what is now also happening is that I think the first-class cricket players not necessarily completely aligning. There are a lot of players in this T20 batch who are not going to play that much first-class cricket. They may play list A cricket, but not first-class cricket.
Red ball, yeah.
If you say that the red ball cricket is out, then when do they start playing next? Because see, anyway, India, the monsoons come now. Then Ranji will start. So they will get a chance. Maybe Vijay Hazare comes, they play Vijay Hazare, they may play Smat. But they may not be playing that much. What he's saying is very important, that these players who you think are close to the Indian team, the larger group of another 15, 20 players, have them on tours, have them on development tours, have them on shadow tours. They're playing at the same time. India gets injured, send a guy in. You can immediately pick up a guy who's playing in the same conditions. That's what India has done very well. And if you see, India is blooding a lot more players in T20 because that's going to be, and that's going to continue as you go on and on, because they're going to try everybody. Now, anyway, the pressure of T20 is off. We won a World Cup. The pressure of winning T20 bilaterals is off. So for a while, we'll experiment, because right now the focus is on the 50-over game for the next series.
Lots happening, lots to do. Today, though, the focus for now is going to be on RR versus KKR at the Eden Gardens. RR have won the toss and they've chosen to bat first. A couple of changes for RR. Out goes Pretorius Tushar Deshpande, and Brijesh has come in, and so has Shimran Hetymer. This looks like a good 11. Rajasthan batting first. Gentlemen, before we take predictions, we have to go to Joy for what he's got for us. Typically, on a double-header day, you do tougher questions because there's more time to crack it.
Let's take a look.
He should do 2 questions.
Were you there? You were there.
Correct.
Which cricketer was player of the match in his T20 debut in 2009, but made his first-class debut 2 months after his international debut? That means when he made his T20 debut for his country, okay, he had not played a first-class match.
2009.
Is big player. I wouldn't.
Not played a first-class match.
Not played a first-class match.
I'm going to use this phone right after the show. You guys and girls, get at it and send in your answers. I promise you, Joy will say hello to whoever the winner is at the end of our coverage. Gentlemen, predictions first. RR batting first. Hot conditions. 58 meters and 70 meters on the other side. Side pitch.
I'm going actually higher. I'm going 230.
Nice.
I was also planning to go high, but I had a figure in mind, but I think it's a bit too high. I'll stay there. 238.
And I'm considering the shorter boundary as well.
Yeah, exactly. I will go much higher today. Or should I?
Ooh.
No. 222. ठीक है. ठीक-ठाक लगा लेते. All the KKR fans, you can eat whatever meal you want, but don't sleep. Believe in your team and back the team. Who knows, they might spring a surprise today against RR. Enjoy the first innings and come right back to listen to J and Z on Google Pixel Presents Cricbuzz Live in association with Google Search AI Mode. Bye-bye.
जयपुर गया कोटा कृपया ध्यान हो अहमदाबाद
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत.
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲಲ್ಲಿ
Hyderabad Express Dayabasi Station Netaji Bhavan.